All right, guys, so I'm pretty sure, as you've seen, the president has released a series of messages after being banned on social media, including Twitter, Facebook. He released these messages on Twitter in which he did not concede, but make no mistake, he did say there will be a new administration, and that new administration will be under Joe Biden. Okay, so there's a lot of conversation on the internet about, whether he conceded or not. That to me is like a false conversation. It's really irrelevant, right? What really matters is the fact that, he's committed to a peaceful transition of power to Joe Biden. Now, I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys have already seen the video, but I'm going to play it again just so we can see it. And then I'm going to let you guys know what I think is going to happen from here, because the politicians are now talking about the 25th Amendment in order to try to remove the president. And they're also discussing possibly impeaching him as well. So I'm going to give you guys an update on all that and let you know where we go from here and how I feel about things moving forward. So let's go ahead and watch this video from Trump. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys already seen it, but just in case you haven't, I'll go ahead and play it.
Addressing the heinous attack on the United States Capitol. Like all Americans, I am outraged by the violence, lawlessness, and mayhem. I immediately deployed the National Guard and federal law enforcement to secure the building and expel the intruders. America is and must always be a nation of law and order. The demonstrators who infiltrated the Capitol have defiled the seat of American democracy. To those who engaged in the acts of violence and destruction, you do not represent our country. And to those who broke the law, you will pay. We have just been through an intense election and emotions are high, but now tempers must be cooled and calm restored. We must get on with the business of America. My campaign vigorously pursued every legal avenue to contest the election results. My only goal was to ensure the integrity of the vote. In so doing, I was fighting to defend American democracy. I continue to strongly believe that we must reform our election laws to verify the identity and eligibility of all voters and to ensure faith and confidence in all future elections. Now Congress has certified the results. A new administration will be inaugurated on January 20th. My focus now turns to ensuring a smooth, orderly, and seamless transition of power. This moment calls for healing and reconciliation. 2020 has been a challenging time for our people. A menacing pandemic has upended the lives of our citizens, isolated millions in their homes, damaged our economy, and claimed countless lives. Defeating this pandemic and rebuilding the greatest economy on earth will require all of us working together. It will require a renewed emphasis on the civic values of patriotism, faith, charity, community, and family. We must revitalize the sacred bonds of love and loyalty that bind us together as one national family. To the citizens of our country, serving as your president has been the honor of my lifetime. And to all of my wonderful supporters, I know you are disappointed, but I also want you to know that our incredible journey is only just beginning. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.
All right, guys, in my opinion, that message was perfect. That was the perfect message from the president at the time that the country needed it, right? It was a message of unity. And, I know it seems like it's bad, right? I know it seems like, oh man, like it's over. Guys, it's not over. It's not over in the sense that obviously the president is going to stay involved in politics in some way, guys. And I've been telling you guys over and over and over again, this is why I stress paying attention to all the news. The president has raised, I think, over $300-400 million since the election was over, guys. All that money was not being used to fight for the election. A lot of that money went to the RNC. A lot of that money also went to future campaigns, right? Whether he wants to run again or whether he wants to run candidates that he endorsed, that money was for President Trump to use politically in general, right? And if you understand that, and this is something I've been pointing out to you guys and I've been mentioning, because to me, what people are doing in the background tells you exactly what their intentions are, okay? President Trump, yes, he was fighting the election results, but at the same time, he was preparing for a worst case scenario in the sense that if he did not win, he still has a ton of money to use to make a run in 2024, okay? So all hope is not lost. But with that being said, and what happened on Wednesday, that gave the left and the mainstream media all the ammunition they needed to basically get rid of any chance of President Trump running in 2024, at least on a major party ticket. And that's the unfortunate truth. And I might do a live stream where I respond to the comments in the video that I release on my thoughts on the protest. Guys, you got to think bigger than just the moment, right? You got to think about how the Democrats are going to use what happened on January 6th in future campaign ads, how they're going to use it politically, how are they going to use that event in order to further their own agenda. To me, what happened on January 6th is going to be in Democratic attack ads against all Republicans for the next 20, 30 years. They're going to use that, regardless of just that. They also are talking about invoking the 25th Amendment, which would essentially be the legislator and the vice president coming together and saying that, the president is unfit and he needs to be removed from office. Now, Mike Pence is not on board with that, even though Mike Pence and President Trump's relationship right now is really strained. Really strained. I don't think they're speaking to each other. It's been discussed by Secretary of State Mike Pompeo and the Treasurer, Steve Mnuchin. They have, again, according to the mainstream media, discussed invoking the 25th Amendment. Nancy Pelosi has tried to push Mike Pence on it, but Mike Pence is not on board. So it looks like the 25th Amendment, that process is not what's going to happen. But the process that we do need to pay attention to is the impeachment process that it looks like the Democrats are going to try to move forward with. And this is the scary part, because with the 25th Amendment, if they remove them via that, he will be able to run again in 2024, no problem, right? No problem. However, with the impeachment process, there's a possibility that if the Democrats get on board with it, which I'm sure they're going to be on board with it, they have the numbers for it, and some Republicans get on board with it, which it looks like some Republicans are going to get on board with it. I mean, Mitch McConnell said he never wants to talk to Trump again. There's a lot of Republicans right now that are not in favor of the president right now. Again, I'm just giving you the hard reality here. So it's really going to be up to whether or not Chuck Schumer can get about 16 Republicans on board in the Senate to move forward with the impeachment process. And also, if they impeach him, if they decide to add a provision in there that does not let him run for office ever again. It disqualifies him from office ever again. And I'm pretty sure that the Democrats are going to push for the whole nuclear option. They're not going to hold back on it. It's about whether or not the Republicans are going to get on board with it. Now, to make it very, very, very clear to you guys, I do not think the president should be impeached. I'm literally just telling you what's happening, right? I don't think he should be impeached, primarily because it's just going to make things worse. If you forcibly remove him from office, knowing that he's going to be out of office in a couple weeks, I just think it's a pointless process, and it does nothing more but than further divide the country. It continues to inflame people and enrage people, make people upset and angry. And the Democrats right now are doing a terrible job of fostering any type of unity. Terrible job. And just continuing with, political stunts like this, it's just not the move. They should not be trying to do this. So I just want to make my opinion very clear on that. They should not try to impeach the president or enact the 25th Amendment. Now, in my opinion, if you asked me before January 6th, who's the front runner in 2024, I would have said President Trump. So if he decided to run, President Trump, and it'll be a 50-50 chance that the Republican Party would let him actually run on the Republican platform. Now, after January 6th, I don't think there's any chance that they would let President Trump run on the Republican platform. He would have to run as an independent unless some type of miracle happens in the next 4 years. So at this point, guys, it's really going to come down to what happens with this impeachment stuff. If they do successfully impeach him Again, it depends on if they add language about whether or not he's going to be ever qualified to run again in the future. I'm not trying to be the bearer of bad news. I'm really not. I'm just trying to give it to you straight. Because a lot of people are saying that what happened on January 6th was a good thing. And that this was something that needed to be done. Oh, we showed them, we taught them a lesson. When really, it actually set the movement back a whole lot. It actually gave the Democrats and some of the Republicans. We already knew the establishment did not like the president. What happened that day gave them all the ammunition they needed to essentially make sure the president can never be in office again. That's what it did. Because like I said earlier in the video, guys, all indications, if you're paying attention to what's happening in the background, suggested that the president was going to run in 2024. And under 4 years of Biden, I think that President Trump would have had a great chance of winning. I really do. He would have won again, and he would have been president again, and we would have been good. So, moving forward, people would say, well, where do we go from here? What do we do? Well, one, we got to see what happens with impeachment, right? That's the first thing. We got to see what happens with impeachment. But regardless of what happens with impeachment, guys, I think the most important thing that people really got to do is really start to come to terms with, the reality of the situation, the reality of the world, and really start to hold the current Republican Party accountable for the things they do, right? Pay more attention to politics. Read all the news. Don't just read the news that you agree with. Read all the news, because if you read all the news, that way you get a better perspective on what's actually going on, and you can make a better, more informed decision, right? And when you're more informed, truly informed about what's going on, then in 2022, we can make headway on the candidates that we want to see. Now, there will still be Trump-like candidates. I believe that will be led by Josh Hawley, who I think is an exciting candidate. Again, you have Ron DeSantis. You have Kristi Noem. You have a lot of young talent in the Republican Party in that kind of Trump mold, who are probably more politically savvy than President Trump, but also less controversial. And again, that could be a good thing. So, guys, I'm not trying to be the bearer of bad news. I'm really not. I'm just trying to give people a realistic way forward, right? It's not all doom and gloom. It's just we have to put in the hard work now. The hard work of paying attention to what's going on, right? Reading the news, doing our research on the candidates, holding the GOP accountable, holding the Democrats accountable, holding our politicians accountable. That's what we have to do. And that's the only path moving forward now. That's the only realistic path. I'm pretty sure no matter what happens, the president will be involved in politics. He'll definitely be endorsing, his candidate. And best case scenario, he runs again in 2024. Maybe people have a short-term memory. Who knows? So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.